I got married at 23, and my husband and I had our first baby when I was 25. So by today's standards, at least, that's pretty young. And while some of my friends and family also decided to marry young, the vast majority waited. Given that the average couple who marries before they turn 25 is more likely to divorce than couples who marry after their 25th birthdays, why would anyone choose to get married young today? In this video, I want to share my personal experience with being a young wife and mother, as well as how I've seen other young couples make it work for them. I'm Cameron. I'm a licensed therapist, wife, and mother, and this is my channel, Modern Marriage, where I share with you all the tips, resources, and insights that I've gained from working with couples in therapy so that you can start building the relationship that you've always wanted. So the other day, I heard someone talking about the two broadly different types of marriages, one being a capstone marriage and one being a cornerstone marriage. And I really love this terminology so much that I wanted to share it with you, but also I think that it really encapsulates where all of the benefits, or at least most of the benefits of getting married young, come from. So let's start with a cornerstone marriage. This is the sort of marriage that is foundational to who you are. Similar to how you developed within the context of your childhood relationships with your parents and your siblings and your closest friends, spouses who build a cornerstone marriage end up developing as adults largely within the context of their marriage. Their roles as spouses and eventually parents have shaped who they are to such a degree that they don't have fully independent lives. They've chosen to mold their communication styles, their lifestyles, their habits, and even really their personalities and goals and character in many ways based on what's best for their spouse and the relationship. Since after all, the sort of person you need to be to have a successful marriage with your specific spouse is different from who you need to be if you're going to have a successful career, or to be a successful, self-sufficient single person, or to become a priest or a nun, or even really to be married to someone else for that matter. This level of interdependence might sound scary to a lot of people, as part of the price of total commitment to one person is the risk of your marriage ending before you're ready, either by death or divorce, leaving you with the task of building a new life for yourself. However, outside of a relationship with God, I have honestly never seen another human relationship able to match the level of fulfillment and joy that can exist for spouses who have a strong cornerstone marriage. There's something to be said about the joining of two people in a type of love that can literally result in the creation of new life that reaches far beyond all other relationships. So a capstone marriage, on the other hand, is more like the couple in which both spouses have built independent lives first, and then they choose to allow each other to be a part of those lives. They choose a spouse who can fit into their already well-curated life, rather than shaping their life based in large part on who they choose to marry. And naturally, this capstone marriage is more common for couples who marry later, as they've had more time to develop as individuals before tying the knot. However, not every person striving for a cornerstone marriage has the luxury of meeting their future spouse at a young age. I know a lot of people who wish they had met the love of their life sooner. But with enough flexibility and humility, a couple can certainly build a cornerstone marriage at any age, if that's what they want. So what are the benefits of getting married young, and particularly getting married young if you're trying to build a cornerstone marriage? I'll share 3 of the biggest benefits that I found in my own life, but before I do, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and share this video with someone who you think might find it helpful. So the first benefit. When you marry someone, you're choosing each other based not just on who you are today, but who you could become. And while this is true no matter what age you marry, it's usually a lot more obvious to younger couples than it is to older ones. The younger you are, the more your life is potential rather than reality. Then, as you age and make choices that both form who you are, who you could still become, and what options you no longer have, you become more reality than potential. So for example, as soon as I got pregnant, I became a mother. I couldn't go back and undo being a mom. That potential of motherhood or not motherhood became a concrete reality when I got pregnant. And the cool thing is, the younger you marry, the more the person that you're marrying is invested in you, not just because of what you've already accomplished, but in your dreams and in your aspirations, in who you could be within the context of your life together. And in my experience, there are few more motivational things than meeting someone who believes in you and who you could become, maybe sometimes even more than you believe in yourself. finding someone who sees who you could be if you allowed the good in yourself to flourish and who wants to help you do that is really an incredible thing. The second benefit, when you get married young, you grow in relation to each other rather than separate from each other. So for most people, growing with another person makes you more flexible and selfless kind of by default, since marriage asks you constantly to make sacrifices for your spouse. Whereas on the other hand, growing in isolation doesn't tend to offer these same benefits. I have friends who have lived alone for years, for example, and who worry that when they do eventually find their husband, it's going to be difficult to adjust to living life with another person. This goes back to the skill set and character traits required to be a great spouse. We develop these skills and traits like gentleness, self-sacrifice, communication, forgiveness, and empathy within the context of a relationship, not as much in isolation. So the earlier you marry, the longer you and your spouse have to practice these skills while building your life together. And the third benefit, your spouse understands your context in a really special way. It's honestly like getting to grow up together. Think about the difference between the way a childhood friend is able to know and love you versus the friend who comes along after you're an established adult with your own place and a career and a dog. Who has gotten the chance to watch you grow and change more? Who's been more a part of your story? Who had the chance to love you when you were purely potential, when you hadn't even proved to yourself yet what you were capable of? With that all being said, I am a huge fan of marriage at literally any age, as long as you and your partner have prepared for that sort of commitment. But in today's society, we don't seem to talk enough about the incredible potential benefits of marrying younger than the average person is marrying today. Yet these benefits exist, and they are huge for people whose ultimate goal is marriage and children. Okay, guys, what did you think? Does this align with your experiences of young marriage? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, I'm Cameron, and this is Modern Marriage. I'm filming. I love you.